How much money did Bungie steal from us is an absolutely insane YouTube title. But here we are watching this because this has actually become trending in the Destiny 2 topic. A lot of people are talking about this. I imagine they're going to talk about sunsetting and, how much money they inadvertently stole by sunsetting all this content. I want to see what the point of this is here. Here we go.
Could be that I saw another comment about how Bungie is unforgivable because of how much paid content is no longer available. That isn't said as any sort of call out to the commenter if you made such a statement. It is just a factual statement. And even though it's probably been done before, the thought got in my head about how much legitimate money I have spent on Destiny 2 for Bungie to take that content away with no real compensation. Just a promise of possible return in the future that is still waiting to be fulfilled.
A promise of possible return where you can buy your content back that you already bought in the first place. Yes, these are the tactics. Yes, the psyops. Don't worry, you can get your content back. We'll give you a chance to buy it back again in the future.
And as such, wanted to make a quick video going over just how much content people paid for just for it all to be shoved into the Destiny content vault. On the first pass, I will be covering the basic costs, i.e. the cost of the game, basic expansion with no bonus content or yearly passes, each season bought individually, then separate content like dungeon keys. After it's all summed up, I will go back through a second pass getting the bundles that include the full years of seasons and whatnot. I won't throw in all the silver cosmetics or Bungie reward purchases, because in the end it's all personal choices buying those things anyway, so Bungie can't be faulted for that, even if they spend more effort filling the Eververse store instead of giving us actual content.
All right, so it sounds like he's doing some legitimate number crunching here, okay, to see exactly how much did we get screwed over.
Also won't be including Destiny 1 either, because everything we paid for is still there even a decade later.
No sunsetting in Destiny 1. Goated.
Destiny 2 launched with the same price every game had during the 2010s, and that is $60 US. Also, we'll be using USD in case there are other currency users out there. My apologies. The first two expansions during Destiny 2 were both $20, so combined total of $40 for the year of content. Year 2 of Forsaken also costed $40, but was weird in the year of seasons. Black Armory, Joker's Wild, and Penumbra, otherwise known as Seasons of the Forge, Drifter, and Opulence, could not be bought individually. You can only access the 3 seasons if you bought the separate annual pass for $35. Reaching Year 3, Shadowkeep was also $35 at launch, with all seasons of the seasonal model costing $10 per season. This building up to $40 for a full year. This holds largely for the next few years of Destiny 2, the one exception currently being that Season of the Undying was included with the base cost of Shadowkeep, so this year was $30 officially for all other seasons. Beyond Light was another $40 expansion, with Year 4 of seasons altogether $40. The Witch Queen was the...
To be fair, Beyond Light, I don't think anything got sunset from Beyond Light. Like, it was everything pre-Beyond Light, correct?
Exact same cost of $40 for the expansions and $40 for the year, but it was also $20 extra for the dungeon key of Year 5 and the 30th anniversary pack, ringing an additional $25 charge. Then Lightfall was a step up after the expansion cost $50 on launch, but another weird season of costs, since specifically Season of the Deep was allegedly $12, but the rest of the year was still $10, but according to the Bungie site, Season of Defiance was locked to the annual pass of Lightfall. Either way, the year of Lightfall and the individual seasons total was $82 altogether, plus the extra $20 Lightfall key. The climactic final shape was also $50, but instead of the seasons, we got episodes. According to sources, they say Echoes was once again included with the final shape or the annual pass, but the other episodes of Revenant and Heresy were both $15. So at most, another $80 total for each individual update. Upon editing, I realized I missed the information about the final shape dungeon key, because I honestly forgot that the dungeons were not just included with each season. So
yes, they are separate, which has been a pain point for a long time now.
On that note, add an extra $20 to the grand total I'm about to present. At this point, Destiny 2 has been made free to play, meaning all those that bought Destiny 2 pretty much paid for nothing aside from playing it a bit earlier than everyone else. Then the Great Sunsetting happened, so in the end, the first 2 full years of expansions were all removed. Campaigns, patrol spaces, quests, practically all of it. While Shadowkeep and other annual expansions have stayed, the seasons disappear on the regular. Either the moment they ended completely vanishing, or sticking around just until the year ended with all the seasons disappearing anyways. Also to point out, the seasonal events returned on the regular, and those were always free to all players. While some parts of seasons persisted and exist today, mostly these were all the battlegrounds that returned eventually, dungeons and raids that came out in a season and never went bye-bye, Some select exotic quests that could still be completed as long as their areas remained accessible. Either way, 90% of a season goes into the ether, the only remaining parts being the gear that you earn during that time. So up through 7 years of Destiny 2, buying every expansion, season, dungeon key, and little bit of content made available, the grand total cost is $627.
Oof, damn.
We must remember that number is exaggerated since building a whole year together is typically cheaper in the long run. So year by year, going quickly, Destiny 2 Deluxe including Curse of Osiris and Warmind was $90, Forsaken in the annual pass included ran you $70, Shadowkeep in all 4 seasons annual pass was $60, Beyond Light altogether was $70, Witch Queen rose at $80 including the expansion, 4 seasons, and dungeon key, but a later version that included the 30th anniversary pack was priced at an even $100. Lightfall Invaded at $100, all bits included.
$100 for Lightfall is absolutely diabolical. We need to get a refund, even all these years later.
And Final Shape ended with the expansion and episodes priced all at an even $100. Minus tax, this altogether costed $590. Shocking to think the cheaper versions across the years only saved some $40 allegedly. Either way, much of what has been paid for isn't available now. Year 1 and 2 are all completely gone save for the Dreaming City. Most seasons are either gone completely or mostly gone with small bits surviving to the current day. In expansions we lost out on $160, and all the seasons we had temporarily were altogether costing about $195, using the extra costs of the deluxe editions that came out with all 4 seasons as a baseline to calculate that cost. So the 7 years of Destiny that costed $590 before tax lost an estimated $355 worth of content between
Damn.
Sunset expansions and the regular sunsetting of the season's content. So the next time you hear somebody say Bungie took away more than half of the content we paid for, they are pretty on point. Now, just to make sure it is said out loud, I did my best to get accurate launch prices of the various DLCs as well as grand number totals altogether. Unfortunately, I am not tismed in the math, so if I did get something wrong, my bad. But in the end, the message stays the same. Bungie has taken away a lot of the stuff the community has paid for and didn't do much to compensate the community. Sure, someone could say they paid us back in continuing to develop Destiny, but look where that's gotten us. The stolen content is just a portion of the poor decisions Bungie made that reduced Destiny to its lowest point in history. As much as the portal has added very small amounts of restored sunset activities, there's still so much more to add, and the portal officially did more damage than if nothing was changed after Final Shape.
And technically speaking, the portal sunset about 80% of the game that existed before it, so it almost was like sunsetting 2.0. At least it was soft sunsetting because it didn't remove the content from the game, it just made it completely irrelevant to the main focus of the game, which is tiered loot and leveling.
I still say Bungie could have a pretty solid win if they held off releasing newer subpar content and spent a good effort returning content that was deleted. Even if some campaigns are lost to outdated coding, what's to stop Bungie from returning the Mars, Io, and Titan patrol zones? Why Bungie doesn't revive the many strikes that don't exist anymore even though there's no good reason why they stay gone? Why Bungie keeps removing simple things like fishing and the farm when they could afford to stick around? The regular sunsetting of content may not be what ruined Destiny in the modern day, but it's a wound that never fully healed. Either way, that's all I got with this one.
We need the great unsunsetting. Yes, Bungie takes a year to repackage everything that got sunset, redistribute it into the game just to earn the goodwill back, completely free, of course.
This was more a random thought that hit my brain and I decided to put on paper, so if you agree or disagree, that's fine. I'm likely to reply, share my thoughts on a comment, but if you're just gonna say some random doom and gloom like Destiny is dead, there's no saving it, I'm probably not gonna acknowledge it. Obviously Destiny is in a bad state and Bungie seems incapable of correcting it, but if Destiny is actually beyond saving and bound for shutdown, that is not something I want to see happen. On that note, my name is the Mad Scorpion, and I will see you in the next video.
So that was how much money did Bungie steal from us? A breakdown of the cost of all these different expansions, which was interesting. I think that you could even go further with this. We didn't exactly do this, and I am by no means the mathematician to pull this off, but you could probably create a correlation between how much it costs per each part and then how many people actually bought. Like you could at least look at the player population, right? So like, let's say Forsaken, you got, 2.8 million people here, right? And then Forsaken was what, $50? How much was Forsaken on launch? It says that the standard edition says $40. So 40, let's do some insane math here. Calculator. All right. We're busting out the TI-83. $40 times, what did that say? 2,275,754,929. All right. Even that alone, even if it was just the base model, that's $110 million with an M. That's crazy. Now, obviously, people bought the more expensive version of Forsaken. People bought the annual pass with the different seasons, right? That was like $35. People, of course, are buying silver cosmetics, and people are buying those pricey dungeon keys, which I don't know if dungeon keys launched with Forsaken, so I want to make sure I get the facts straight. But you get the point, right? So like we're in the nine figures here with these launches, right? Until Edge of Fate, probably. I mean, Edge of Fate probably did not launch with nine figures. Let's be real, but that's crazy. If you were to do the math, then with this, someone's gonna have to do some number crunching here. You do the math. Okay, this is going to be a very light calculation. I mean, because here's the thing too. This is everyone that logged in day one, 2.754 million day one. There's obviously more people that purchase it throughout the whole course of the expansion. Because like you go here and you can look up how many new players joined the game, right? Throughout this is through like Shadowkeep, right? Warmind, we got Forsaken, Season Outlaw. So like a good example is like this day, 260,000 new people came to the game. So 260,000 people spent $40. And then the next day, 236,000 people spent $40. And then the next day, 223,000 people spent $40. And then the next day, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's just $40 at the lowest estimation, right? And it's also not including people that probably refund. There's probably like a small percentage of that, right? So those numbers could get way crazier. Still a good video. Let me know what you think about it down in the comment section below.